Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and today I'm going to show you how I make my one meal a day. So currently, at the moment, I am only eating one meal a day, and I'm generally eating that within a 1 hour or less time window. So those of you who followed for a while know this is something I've been kind of trying to do for a long time. In the winter, it is certainly much harder because you have to be burning calories in order to stay warm. But now we're approaching the summer solstice, and I'm noticing that I really feel totally fine just eating one meal a day, and actually I feel kind of bogged down if I eat more than that. So anyways, I'll show you basically what I eat in that period of time and how I make it. Okay, so I keep my food, my rice and beans, rice and lentils, in these big 2-gallon jugs with the screw top, and I have 9 of these buckets, and each one I've calculated eating at the amount that I'm going to eat today would last me a month and a half. So 9 times 1.5. And normally, so this is just rice and lentils. Normally I'd have quinoa in here, but I ran out of quinoa. But I do have 45 pounds of quinoa coming in a couple of days here, so I'll be able to start having that again. So basically I just take 2 big handfuls of this. So there are 90 handfuls. This thing can hold 90 handfuls. Then I come over here and I fill it with water. And then I'm also going to fill this with water because I'm going to put my wizard food in here once I've heated it up. So this will be the first thing that I have before I eat that. And I want it only about 4/5 full because I'm going to add a bunch of stuff to it later. So I add the rice and lentils to this solar oven here, and it'll get upwards of 350 to 400 degrees. And so that'll be done in a couple of hours. And then I add the water here, and I don't need this to get all that hot. This thing no longer has a plastic covering which keeps the heat in, but this still does warm the water up, probably almost to the point of boiling. So that's basically what I do every morning. I just set these 2 things out in the sun, and the sun takes care of the rest, and we'll come back in a couple hours to feast. It's food time now. I pulled the hot water, out of the solar oven, and it's almost too hot to touch here. And I have this container which has all of my wizard food, which is basically like coconut butter with melted down, and then has a powder which is like ripe banana flour, chocolate, and lots of other things. So anyways, it's a little bit melted because it's warm today, but basically this is what it looks like. And I'm just going to take my titanium spork, and I'm going to scoop out about 6 spoonfuls. Now this spoonful is bigger than a spoonful because it came all together, so I would do a little bit less, but I'm just going to add it to the water. Ooh, it's hot. Ouch. Then I'm going to put the lid back on and basically shake it a little bit and let it melt. It'll take, a couple of minutes to melt. And then I'll just shake it again and it'll be ready to drink. So this is basically like Dr. Amin-Ra's amino elixir. So he's a vegan who works out. He's like a weightlifter. He's totally huge. He's ripped. He only eats 1 hour every day, and the first thing he'll do after his workout is he'll have his amino elixir. So this is kind of based on that. And then he'll have, kind of similar to what I'm doing, he'll have rice and beans and like peanut butter and maybe bread or something like that. So now I'm going to, this is the rice and beans, right? And this is a big bucket of coconut butter, and I'm going to take some chunks and I'm just going to add it to it while I'm drinking my elixir so that it has time to melt. This is just going to add thickness and calories. And I'll mix it in. So it's a little after 12 noon, and I'm going to go ahead and start by drinking this. And so I've got about an hour to basically eat everything that I want to eat, and I'll be able to do that pretty easily. Now this is about the earliest that I would eat. Sometimes it'll go as late as 3 or 4, but I find if I start pushing later in the day that I'm not finished digesting by the time I go to bed, and that actually affects my sleep. So here's the rice and lentils. It's much better with the quinoa. I really like the texture and the flavor that the quinoa adds, so I'm looking forward to having that back here in a few days. But basically it's kind of like just a really thick porridge, very, very high calorie, and has a lot of the nutrients that we need. So once I've finished that, then if there's anything ripe in the garden, I'll come out and have that. So right now we got a lot of these currants. I don't know if you can see, but all these little orange things are little berries, and they're quite tasty. We have I think they're called yellow, maybe they're orange currants, but we also have red ones and black ones. So these are basically going to be ripe for probably another month or two, right? Because they're all over the place and they all become ripe at different phases, at different times. And we also have strawberries. We have jujube, I think that's what it's called. We got an almond tree back there, which you can eat the fruit of. There's apples, there's pears. So basically, up until like mid to late fall, I'm also going to be able to have something sweet to finish up the meal. So once I've finished everything, then I like to have something to drink, something which is going to it's very quenching my thirst and also will help with digestion. So this is full of apple cider vinegar. And no, I'm not going to drink this straight, but I'll fill this with water or pour a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there, and then I'll just sip on that for a little bit. And basically, that's all the eating I will do, and that's all the drinking I will do in a single day. So anyways, I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider sharing it. If you'd like to help me out in a more substantial way, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/gift. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, whether publicly or privately, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/one-on-one. Thanks again for watching.